Welcome back to Great Tastes, and we can't have a season 35 without Manitoba pork and Susan Reese. Susan, you always bring it. Tonight we're celebrating Manitoba, Manitoba pork, and we have our Ukrainian-style braised pork that we're going to do now. So just right off the hop here, what's the difference between like the braising and stewing?
Yeah, so they're very, very similar in that they're both moist cooking methods, if you will. Braising, we're going to brown in some fat before we immerse the meat and the vegetables in
all
some
the
liquid.
other good stuff, yeah.
And with stewing, you're basically just immersing the meat and the veg right into the liquid.
Throwing it all in
Sort
there.
of eliminating that browning step.
Okay.
So we're going to start with our pork shoulder cubes. Pork shoulder, of course, you can see the nice marbling in the meat. This is ideal for this type of cooking method because that fat is just going to basically melt.
Helps it along.
Yeah,
yes.
It's going to add to the goodness of the dish. So we're gonna dust them in a little bit of flour first.
And then when you put that into the pan, that's just kind of going to make it sort of like.
It's going to give them a nice like brown.
Or like a okay.
Like it'll help with the browning for sure. It'll add a little bit of that crustiness to the outside of the meat, which is going to also impart a lot of flavor into the dish.
Okay.
So I'm gonna shake off the excess, and I'm just going to use my fingers here.
Oof.
Put that in the oil. If you're looking for a high quality protein at an affordable price, give pork shoulder a try. Pork shoulder is ideal when making pulled pork and for cutting into cubes for soups and stews, helping stretch your grocery dollars even further. And because pork shoulder is well marbled, it's the perfect cut for low and slow cooking, which means you can sit back and relax while the magic happens.
How's that temperature? Is that working for you?
I think that's working pretty good.
Yeah.
You'll have to do this in batches. So we're using about 3.5 pounds of shoulder cubes, which is a fair bit. We've already browned a whole bunch over here, as you can see. But you don't want to overcrowd the pan, right? Because otherwise that's just going to add a lot of moisture, and then you're not going to get that nice browning
effect. Yeah. Okay.
That's a wipe here.
Well, that's doing something.
So we'll keep an eye on this, and we're kind of going to manage 2 pans at the same time here. So we've got some cremini mushrooms that we've already cooked down a little bit. It takes maybe like 4 or 5 minutes to cook those down in a bit of butter. So butter again, it's going to add to the richness of this dish. For sure. And we're going to add our onion and our garlic and our carrots. So if you want to just pass that over to me, I know we've got a lot going on here.
So we would talk maybe a little bit about the flavor profile of this that kind of gives it that, the familiarity for me, like being Ukrainian.
Yes, right? That's right. I had forgotten about that.
Yes, so can't have anything, like you can't cook anything like this really without the garlic, right? Got to have that. And then of course we're going to get into the dill in a minute too, which is so huge with all of the cooking that I grew up with, really.
That's exactly what I heard. And I was like, that's really interesting. Like I've never used dill in a dish like this, right? It's always like parsley or thyme or something like that.
Oh yeah, got to have the dill.
So you would let this cook for about 3 minutes or so, just until the onion gets soft and you can smell the garlic. And we've used a lot of garlic. There's like 6 cloves of garlic in here.
We kind of talk about these recipes a little bit ahead of time, and in brackets it was like garlic and then lots of it. And
lots of it.
Okay, well.
Just going to check on these cubes too, make sure that they're not burning. No, those are going along just fine. Yep. Okay. And then we are going to add our seasoning. So if you want to just pass me those.
Now what's in here?
So we've got some black pepper, some paprika, a little bit of cumin and coriander.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if those are
Well,
Ukrainian
no, I was going to say, I don't think I had coriander
but
until like many years after I had left home. So no, that would be that, but this is where you kind of get that Ukrainian style, you know.
Smell it. Nice and fragrant.
Oh yes.
And then we're going to add in about 1 liter of beef broth.
Okay.
So maybe you just pour that.
In for you? Okay.
Yep, that's perfect.
But beef broth, that's what we're after.
Using beef broth for a change. And a cup of water.
Okay. So really adding quite a bit of liquid to this.
Yeah, but it's going to cook down, you'll see. And then we're also going to add in a little bit of that tomato paste.
Okay.
So I'll just grab that little spoon from you.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, all good.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, that's quite beautiful.
All right.
The aroma.
We'll give that a stir.
you want me to flip these, Susan?
Right, if you want to give them a check and see if they're
Not yet,
maybe the ones in the oil
Yeah,
there.
okay.
Yeah, that one needs
Yeah?
a turn.
Okay.
Sure. We'll give that a stir, and then we've got our browned cubes that we already did ahead of time. We're going to add these into the pan, just carefully. Try not to make a whole bunch of splashing.
Yeah, you're wearing white. You're brave.
I know.
You're a brave woman.
White t-shirt, white apron. Oh well, at least I got the apron on, right?
You know, you're living on the edge.
Living on the edge. Yeah, that's me.
Eat that one maybe.
Okay, and then we would cover up the pan, turn that to a boil, and then let this whole business simmer for about an hour and a half.
Okay.
You want those pork cubes nice and tender, and it'll just like melt in your mouth, right?
Okay, well, that sounds very positive.
You're doing a
indeed.
great job with
Okay.
these cubes, by the way.
Well,
So-
these didn't quite look.
That's okay. We'll get them done. So I'll keep watching this. If you
Okay.
want to lift off that lid, that is what your dish will look like once it's simmered down for about 90 minutes.
Amazing.
So we're going to give that a little bit of a stir. It's really bubbling. Maybe we'll turn the heat down too. And at this point, we're going to want to add a little bit of sour cream.
Okay.
So I'll let you just stir that in.
Okay. The whole thing.
Yeah, put the whole thing in. So that's just going to, again, add to that silkiness of the sauce and the richness of the dish.
Susan, I love this. I love this.
We're using full fat sour cream, of course. It's also going to
What
help
else?
thicken it a little bit. And then if you want to throw in just a couple of tablespoons of each of the, use your fingers, the dill
yeah.
and also the parsley. That's just
Okay.
going to give it a really interesting flavor.
My gosh, yeah.
And then we would serve that all over, what did I mention earlier? Buttery mashed potatoes.
Butter, is there butter in that by any chance?
Yeah, just a
maybe a
little.
little bit of butter in that as well.
And that you need something to soak up all of that sauce, right? So, and it's delicious. You don't want to waste a drop.
I mean, it's decadent. Like it's
decadent. It's really good. Like the more I make it, the more I really enjoy it.
Can't wait to try this. Okay, thank you very much. So Ukrainian-style braised pork. Something we have heard over and over from folks is that they love the stories that we've been sharing about the folks that produce the ingredients that we use on this show every week. So another Produced on the Prairie is coming right up. Stay with us.